In Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, Welles directed, produced, and starred in his first ever featured film. He came up with many cinematic advances by using the combination of deep focus and deep spaces. These details set his film apart from the rest during his time. Greg Toland was a cinematographer for Citizen Kane, and he used the same techniques in The Best Years of Our Lives. This scene portrays how Toland uses the cinematic techniques, such as deep space and deep focus, within The Best Years of Our Lives.
Come on, boys! Reunion time! Be careful, Charles.
Kane.
Pull your muffler around your neck, Charles.
Kane, I think we shall have to tell him now.
Yes. I'll sign those papers now, Mr. Thatcher.
You people seem to forget that I'm the boy's father.
It's going to be done exactly the way I've told Mr. Thatcher.
There ain't nothing wrong with Colorado. I don't see why we can't raise our own son just because we come into some money. If I want, I can go to court. A father has a right to. A boarder that beats his bill and leaves worthless stock behind. That property is just as much my property as anybody's, now that it's valuable. And if Fred Graves had any idea all this was going to happen, he'd have made out those certificates in both our names.
However, they were made out in Mrs. Kane's name.
As defined in the book, Looking at Movies, content is the subject of an artwork and form is the means by which a subject is expressed and experienced. This scene shows us an example of deep focus photography. Everyone within the scene is in total focus. The scene also portrays form and content. Charles' mother would be considered the content because she is signing papers to give Charles away to Mr. Thatcher. Charles' father disagrees with this arrangement. The person with the most power is shown closest, which is Charles' mother, and the person with the least amount of power is Charles, who is shown in the window with his father between. The scene in which Charles is shown in the background represents loss of control and isolation. The focusing shows how much space he commands and also shows the space in which he has no power. Deep focus is having everything in the frame, and deep space is characters in the scene and how they occupy the space in the frame. The father is not an influence, therefore, he is in the background. He steps in at one point and gains some importance, but then he loses control once again, and he is back in the background. Here we see Charles at a lower angle view, making him appear larger than he actually is. Throughout the movie, we wonder what Rosebud is, and the movie actually ends with the audience wondering, what really is Rosebud?